All right.
Hello, everyone. This is Georgette Truen, also known as Miss G. I work for the law office of Vincent Davis, and I am the host of Real Talk with Miss G and the gang. And my gang is here. We have Misty, we have Star, and how come your name is on the not on the thing?
It should be. Oh, it's not.
Lindsay.
It's
I
not.
wonder why it's not.
Go ahead and
I'm
introduce
Lindsay.
yourself, Lindsay. Okay. Oh, thank you, Miss Producer. Here she goes. She puts you on top. There you go. All right, guys. I know Star wanted to finish something that she wanted to talk about from last show, so I'm gonna start with Star. Miss Star,
Hi.
you guys all look beautiful, by the way. All of you
Thank
guys,
you.
all of you,
Thanks. I'm at work. So
Yes, I just got off.
still beautiful. Go ahead, Star. Start, honey.
So we were just talking a little bit about like recordings and just different things in the steps where you were bringing up a story of a woman who's hiring Attorney Davis for her case because of getting her kids back. And I'm at that point in my case where the corruption is there. It's happened. Okay, it's just very similar things that you mentioned, including recordings. I mean, like I said, I have recordings of them admitting to it, but in my state, you got to have all party consent. So it's very touch and go with that. But just because I won my Supreme Court appeal, just because my rights were restored a couple weeks ago, does not mean I won. And that's where it's at now. It's like I go back in front of the same corrupt judge, the same corrupt caseworker, and I'm frankly traumatized by having to be back in front of them.
But if you're, but if you won the appeal, why would you have to go through the same judge?
Okay, so in our state, I guess apparently, if he does not want to recuse himself, he does not have to. My lawyer has asked to recuse himself in our case, and he refuses. Yes, he does not have to take himself off the case. I have all the papers that state why he doesn't have to.
Star, what state are you in?
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah, so now it's back in front of these people. I'm in the same now, mind you, I've seen them do some really messed up things. We're talking like giving, a guy who's came up from a senator who's friends with Obama, who is touching my kid's foster brother and beating him up, and then yet they're giving him more kids. This other kid has been running away, is locked up in juvenile detention right now because he messed him up, so all these things that they've done in my case, now I'm back in front of them. And so it's like at our hearing, I'd love nothing more to see my daughter right now. It's been a year. You know what I mean? And I can't just put myself in that position because of the fact they could say anything happened. They could say I touched her inappropriate. They could say I talked to her inappropriate. And they, like you said in your story, they're not going to check into it. They don't look into the cameras. Sometimes they don't even have them recording. So I'm very timid about doing this. I have to go back through all the same procedures all over again: drug and alcohol, the parenting capacity assessment, all this stuff. And then those people are also corrupt. So you want me to go back in front of the same people who gave me a corrupt report? And so when is this going to end? When is it really going to end? And it's like, it seems like this is exactly what they want to do to you. And like I was just saying too, I mean, I'm a targeted individual in all aspects of my life right now. And I don't know how and when it started, but now I'm literally, I think they don't want you to be stable.
No, they don't.
They don't want you to be stable, and they will take anything away from you that makes you stable, including your room, your living situation, continuously kicking you out of places, continuously having this pull. Because then what? You get in front of the judge and you're like, well, how are you going to take care of her? You know what I'm saying? So and at the end of the day, all the lawyer fees and everything else just to have a hired lawyer, is extreme.
Yeah,
And they were counting on me to get a lawyer, in my case. But the more I've been walking around all of this, the more I see how many people are involved.
Yeah.
And it's not just the CYS. It's also domestic violence shelters. They also prep and they watch and that's where I just was, and they just kicked everyone out for no reason just to do it. It's a lot of different agencies that are in play here, and it just makes me sick.
Doctors, just so you guys know, doctors, detectives, police department, sheriff department are all in on it, and I'm not.
The school.
I'm not, and the schools and nurses. I have a nurse that contacted me last week because of her case, and they're attacking now nurses and doctors. By the way, one doctor we have, and then 3 nurses, and she's the 3rd nurse that contacted me last week, and she told me that that's karma. She cried. She said because she was so afraid to lose her job and her kids, because social workers do intimidate and they threaten, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah.
That they will come after you if you don't do what they want you to do. And I'm going to share something to you before the end of the show that is actually on it was all over the news. It's an article, and I'm going to just brush on what I said, and I'm going to prove to you guys that what I was telling you guys is the God honest truth. But Star, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
I have a question for you, Star.
Go ahead.
So, have you looked into Pennsylvania Code 207, Section 15.4 on disqualification and recusal?
But baby, that's Pennsylvania, though. Is it the same as California?
She's saying this, I think, PA, right?
I said, yeah, Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
I looked at it specifically to Pennsylvania.
Well, the thing is, with that,
it's called an ethics committee. If you can petition to get in front of the ethics committee, you have a good shot.
Okay, see, there's things like that. You would think my lawyer would know. He's trying to tell me as if you can create a bias. You have to prove a bias in your case. I'm like, well, I think I clearly have one. And, he's like, well, the judge don't have to take himself off. And it even says that in his paperwork, and he responds to the form of the motion. And I don't know who's right and who's wrong unless you know the law and where to look. So that'd be great. Any information you guys can,
I have a PDF. I'll send it to Miss G for you.
Absolutely. I can give you my contact then too. Thank you.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on right now that it makes you want to give up. It either makes
so I did Google the Judicial Ethics Committee in California. Okay, it's actually California Supreme Court Committee on Judicial Ethics. Is that Lindsay?
So I looked it up specifically to Pennsylvania because that's where Star is at. So I looked it up specific to that. But yeah, it would be the same thing.
Okay, so can I email it to you, Star?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna copy the link because I don't have your email on me at the moment, and I'm gonna share it in a private chat with Miss Producer Lady, and she can email it.
I'll send the PDF that I have to Grace as well.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder too.
The reason I call her Producer Lady today because 2 people called me. They said, "Hi, Miss Grace," and I'm like, "I'm not Miss Grace. I'm Georgette." Well, I was told you're Miss Grace, and I said, "Oh, how can I help you?" And she said, "Well, I just wanted to talk to you about my case." And I said, "Baby, the Grace is the producer. I am Miss G." She's like, "Oh, Miss G, I thought you were Grace also." I said, "No." So now I'm calling her Miss Grace. There you go. 2 people said that to me today. I was cracking up. I was like, "Oh my God." I know. I love people. They're amazing. They're so cute. But yeah, I sent it in the private chat for Grace to email it to Star. And I know she heard me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway.
But go ahead, Star, finish.
So yeah, so basically, like I said, there's so much that it's uncertain right now. And even just the judge, I think I need a whole new case. If I have to go back through this, I don't feel like it's fair to go back through it with people who clearly don't, and I don't even know if it's going to help, because if they're really trafficking children, right? And in my case, they've had my daughter out the country 4 times to the Dominican Republic, which is where the so-called foster mom's from.
Wow.
You know, my
What?
daughter now has been enrolled. I just had a hearing a couple weeks ago since this reinstatement, and she's basically been the caseworker enrolled her in trauma therapy. Now they've had her for 2.5 years now. It's been that long. So you mean to tell me it took that long for the appeal and all that as well? But why in the world does she need trauma therapy? And is you only doing this because I got my rights restored and I'm going to notice when I see her? You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's so much behind the scenes of what's really going on. I don't know if even a new team and a new judge and all that's going to even help. It's
But
going to
wait
be
a minute. No, but wait. From my
Mhm.
understanding, when you appeal and you win the appeal, the whole idea of the appeal is for you to change. They give you another judge. It's not the same judge.
apparently not in PA.
I mean, okay,
But either way, think about
your
it. It's
state is where, Star, again? I'm getting you guys confused, I think, with the states. What state? You're in Pennsylvania, right?
in PA.
And
yes.
then Lindsay is in California. No?
Nope, I'm in
Oklahoma.
Michigan.
Oh,
You're in
Michigan.
Michigan? And you're in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Do we have somebody from Sacramento? I'm getting confused. I thought I heard last time. Oh my God. All right. That's called age, guys. It's all good. That's why I kept saying California, but I get it now. I get it now. All right. I get it. Go ahead, Star. Finish, please.
Yes, it's just a lot. I don't think giving me a new judge and a new caseworker is going to actually do much help. You know, because
I think Davis needs to hear that part, and I maybe I can address it tonight if we're doing the show at 7. But I think it needs to be addressed. I mean, Star, why didn't you try to be on the show tonight with me and Davis? You know?
Sure. No problem.
Yeah, just text Grace after this show and then see if you can go on the show and maybe ask him that question. If you win the appeal, can I request for a different judge? Because
Right.
I just thought if you win the appeal, you don't get the same judge.
It's common
You
sense.
don't.
Right,
No, it
because
doesn't
then you're
make
going to
any
end up right back in front of the appeals board. Like,
And
how
Yeah,
does that make
absolutely.
sense?
That's exactly what they said. They said that basically it would be, my lawyer said this anyway, if he does not recuse himself, then it's going to be just better for my lawsuit, pretty much. Because anything that he does, decide, and he did it already. We had just a hearing a couple weeks ago, and here we go again. I said to the judge, I said, listen, I do not want any contact between me and the caseworker. I think she can go straight through my lawyer. That's why I have a lawyer. We can do it that way. He literally put it in his order, okay, that says I have to go through my caseworker. I have to talk to her, and it does not it's not going to go through my lawyer. I'm like, okay, because any miscommunication between me and that caseworker, she puts it against me and she'll add to it.
Yep.
As parents, with all this going on, I'm not the perfect person when it comes to attitude sometimes, and I try to keep myself, respectable. But there's times where it's just like, what do you do when it's your child and they're just constantly messing with you, and lying about you, and you're trying to sit there as a mother. I'm trying to figure out why. What did I do? I had to sign my daughter over. I went to jail for 6 months for a DUI, which was an extreme amount of time. And I had nobody to watch her and my 16-year-old son. So they had to sign them over to CYS Care. And when I got out, I did everything they asked me to. I never failed a drug test. I never not went to get an evaluation done. Nothing. And every time the in-home teams that they give you, they're also corrupt. They're the ones that are actually working like they're minions, basically, to make sure the job gets done, I guess. I don't know. But each one they gave me. Now, what it'll look like on paper is I was kicked out of 2 in-home teams. Like I'm just.
I'll be here till 4.
What's that?
4?
I didn't hear.
2:20 now.
Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought somebody was saying
Just-
something.
I'm here.
I think it's
No, so yeah.
I heard something.
Yeah, sorry. That was my client because I'm at work.
All right, Misty. All right. I understand this. Oh my God. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Star.
So I mean, it's a battle that I don't understand if we're ever going to really win to a degree unless we can expose these people. And that's what we're trying to do in my local area. We have a lot of different cases going on that they're being sued in my county. There was one where a little boy died, Dante Mullinex, and
Oh,
yeah,
Oh
he
my God.
they
What
wronged.
happened with that? Can you explain what happened?
Yeah, so he was the mother was kind of on drugs on and off, whatnot, and she was we promoting her child to have sex with other men or other people. So when they started, and he's autistic, and so when they started figuring this out, it was actually my daughter's father. His brother got accused of the actual crime because they found him. I guess he put and dropped him off at the hospital. He was babysitting him. He wouldn't tell anybody what happened to him, and he ended up dying actually during that night. He had cigarette burns all over him. He had a lot of trauma, and they did charge the mom eventually too. But since then, this is what I feel like they're also doing is breeding because she's gotten pregnant. It's been 4.5 years. She has had 4 kids since then. She's had one every year, and they took the state took them. So in this case, they had the detectives and everybody that were on tried to frame this man, and they just acquitted him. He just got released from prison after 4.5 years of sitting in there for a crime he did not commit. His name's Tyree Bowie, and he is the lawyer that's taking that case is one I'm trying to talk to too, because they're going after CYS for that as well, because CYS did nothing about getting that child removed prior to this of even happening, but yet they'll take them for no reason. You know what I mean? Or real any reason. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I guess she had been in a domestic violence shelter in that county, and the baby's screaming because he needs his medication on his genital area before they found out what it all was, and she wouldn't do it. They're reporting her, and nothing's happening. They wouldn't do nothing. And then 2 weeks later, he's done. He's not here no more. So they have some pages. Justice for Dante, I think, is one of them that you can look up. And so it's this county that's just one out of many. So I don't know how they're still operating. I don't.
they shouldn't be.
No. And I think they choose and pick these people. In my opinion, I couldn't figure out how come some people got their kids back and some people didn't. Right? I couldn't figure it out until just a little bit. A thought came to me. When they come out into our state, they will come out if somebody calls within 24, 48 hours, and they come in our home. They will take pictures of our children. Okay. Now in some states they don't do that or they don't allow that, but in ours they do. And so what they take and go back to their office with is they put them in a database, and that database I think makes a catalog. In my personal opinion, and they flip through who they want. It seems like because it's like so random, and there's people who literally have had relapsed and got their children back. You know what I'm saying? And so, and it's like, I don't get this. And even the foster mom, I have more than the foster mom has right now. And all she's doing is living off the system. She has foster kids, and then she gets like $2,000 a month per kid. Why do you need to work?
Wow.
So,
And then adoption subsidies. So they'll push for like foster homes to adopt, right? And then in Michigan anyway, they will give what are called adoption subsidies to these people. So they get a certain amount each month for however many kids they've adopted on top of whatever they're fostering at the time. It's insane.
Yep.
All about the money.
And in my case, I have my son's foster dad, he's not there no more, thank God, but I have this whole thing recorded. I cannot believe I got it all. But my son calls me when they're all in the living room. Here, the man's trying to evict my son because he told me what was going on in that house. And I told somebody. And so the guardian ad litem, the caseworker, the PA child like advocate person. Everybody was in this living room trying to threaten my child to go with this other guy that they quickly must have found somebody, and he's there too now, and wants my son to go with him. And now it's all coming out in this conversation where the foster dad's like, why did you say something? What is your problem, Isaiah? You knew to keep your mouth shut. All this, and mind you, is in front of everybody in this room. So now this man's trying to threaten me, saying he's going to make me disappear. Like I said, he came up from a senator. He's the first Black African-American something or other in I think Maryland. So he's friends with Obama. He has pictures with him and Obama in his home. So at the end of the day, I'm like sitting back wondering, well, these cars that are starting to follow me, you know what I mean? There's certain things that are happening. It's like, can this really happen? Are they that powerful? He says he's part of a Muslim type organization or group of some sort. And it's scary. It's downright scary.
And people will be so quick to shout, oh, she's nuts. She's nuts. Yeah. Really, you're aware of what's going on. And that's the problem, is they don't want to look inward and look at where the holes in the system are. And, just to expand a little bit on the CASA and the guardian ad litem thing, in Michigan, there's no standard for how many times a CASA representative or guardian ad litem speaks to a child. So, like, for example, from my experience, they spoke to my child in one of the complaints. They spoke to my child once, 5 minutes before a hearing. Mm-hmm. One time for 5 minutes. How is that sufficient? You cannot tell me that child is giving you everything you need to know and assess in a 5-minute call. I'm sorry, you can't. And these people don't care, because they'll go in there and they'll say whatever they want. They'll say whatever the narrative is. And fortunately for me, the person that was appointed was somebody that I knew. It was somebody that, is in my community and be that as it may, whatever. If it were a child that were in an abusive home, for example, how are you going to then appoint someone to have 1 5-minute conversation with them? One conversation. What are you going to learn from that? Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Misty, what do you have to say about all this? Well, what speak your mind on this? I mean, tell us.
Everything I'm hearing, I can relate to so much of it. Like, I've been dealing with CPS for almost 3 years now. And like the guardian, I'm in Montana. So of course I'm completely like away from you guys, but like where I'm at, the guardian ad litem that's on the case is just as corrupt as everybody else. And I actually just found out that my children are actually out of the state right now. They were taken out of the state without my consent or anything.
That's a no-no.
Yeah, mine was literally out the country against my wishes.
Yeah, I don't understand how they can, because I have all my rights. My rights have never been taken from me. I just don't have my children. And in Montana, if you have your rights, like wherever your children are placed, they are not allowed to take your children even out of the county without your consent. And now mine are out of the state.
They have that statute that you're not supposed to take them out of county lines. I cannot.
We'll see. And right now, where my children are placed is in a different county than what I am. So the whole county thing doesn't apply to our situation because they live in a different county, but they're not allowed to go out of state. A month ago, they weren't allowed to go to my cousin's funeral in Idaho without my consent. But now they're being pulled out of school the last week of school. When I talked to them, they told me they didn't want to go because they're missing out on visits with me. But they still took them anyways.
Unbelievable.
And on top of that, so Miss G, you know how I was telling you about the county attorney? So now we were supposed to start our in-home visits next Friday. But because I've been sharing my story, CPS took away our in-home visits, stating she never approved of them.
Wait,
Are you kidding me?
what?
Yep. And she even told my lawyer that in-home visits start June 2nd. But she took them away because I'm speaking out.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
What?
That's not right.
Yep.
Oh my God. What did your attorney say about this? What was his or her crappy thoughts?
Well, he said he was going to talk to them, but we're supposed to have a big meeting tomorrow with myself, my case manager, CPS, and my attorney's office. Because I went to the regional manager about everything.
Good for you.
Yeah, because her supervisor is just against me as she is. So I went above the supervisor's head and went straight to the regional manager. Because like the girls were looking forward to starting in-home visits because everybody knew we were starting them. But now CPS is saying that I had no business telling them because she never approved it. But I'm not the only one she told.
That's so ridiculous. I cannot believe
But do you
it.
guys see what I'm talking about all this time? I'm telling you guys exactly what they do, what they're up to. And here, Robin James, she wrote, I worked as a visitation supervisor, and CASA worker would lie on the parents all the time. You guys think any social worker, whether it's for senior homes or senior, senior citizens or children, they lie. They always lie. They get paid for the shit. They
Right.
literally get paid for lying.
Adult. I just found this out. Okay, so with the domestic violence place that was doing some really messed up things, they have reported them to what we have now. Somebody reached out to me from the Adult Protective Services, not the for older people, but there's some stuff for now. She's knocking on my door saying, "Are you a victim of abuse? You're gone." I'm like, "What?" I said, "I don't think I trust you at all." Like,
Yeah.
They're all the same
We're all
corporation.
the same circle, baby. We
Oh,
had
yeah.
a caller for her dad, and she said that they took her dad from her, saying that she's not taking care of him. And the one that reported her to authority, to, I guess, social worker, whatever they call them, told the department that she's not giving the father medication on time. When in fact, the doctor, right, the acting doctor that was replacing this doctor because he was on vacation, said, do not give him this medication because that's what's causing his seizure, right?
Mhm.
So then she said, okay, what should I do? Then he prescribed a different medication for her. But the other doctor that was on vacation didn't like what this doctor did, so they blamed it on the daughter. So now the father is in state custody. I didn't know they could do that for senior citizens. I had no idea until I got the call. I haven't talked to Davis about it yet, but I couldn't believe that can possibly happen. I couldn't believe that. But they lied. They lied.
Oh, yeah.
This is exactly why I lose my mind. That's exactly why. I lose my cool because, like I told you guys the other day, they suspended our YouTube because we spoke the truth.
Yep.
And how dare we speak the truth? So I'm trying to figure out, like, why are they trying to shut us up so much? Why are they trying to, gag us?
Well, because now it's not just that conspiracy theory, right?
Mhm.
Now we have proof. Now we have people coming forward saying, look, here's my stuff. Here's all the stuff from my case. Like, I submitted all the stuff from my case. I have nothing to hide. Like, they're going to keep coming back. I know that. 11 years of this, I know that. Like, I expect them to be here again in a few months, I'm sure. But
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, I can still back every word that I have said. Every word I've said is
Yep.
true.
Mhm.
And I have recordings, I have documents, I have all kinds of stuff that, people can actually look at and say, yeah, that's messed up. But now that we have proof, they are worried, and they should be.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, and it's because there's so many people that are actually coming forward now.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're scared because there's just so many of us, because it's not just you hear about an incident here or you hear about an incident there. You're hearing about it in every single state now. I mean, every state, because there's not a single state that you have not heard about CPS and corruption. I mean, it's everywhere. And now people are finally coming forward.
Exactly.
Yep. And MSG, you brought up last week, I think, a little bit with trust. With the trust, sometimes they go after the kids that are have a trust. Remember that? Because I was trying to figure out some things that what is like a loophole, or something that can help our situations. And I don't know how true all this is, but as far as authenticating your birth certificate and making sure your kids' birth certificates are in a trust with you, that somehow can decrease the amount of involvement that they can be with you. So I don't know if, because I'm still really looking into that. And if that's the case, like there's some people say that you should be able to walk right into court and say, this is my God-given right. This is my son or daughter. This is my blood. You have no jurisdiction over this. They're in my trust, so give me my daughter. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how it all works, but it's something to look into. That you no longer become like a citizen of, I guess, the state or the country per se. So the reason why they say that they can do all these things to us is because we have that birth certificate, because we have a legal title to us, basically, and that gives them permission to do this stuff. And when I heard this, I'm like, well, this is something worth looking into, because if all I have to do is create a trust and do some forms and authenticate my birth certificate, then it's worth a shot. So I started to do it. I actually got to the federal government level, and now I'm waiting for them to give me back my forms. So I don't know in the long run if it's going to work. I know you need to know what you need to know, like, about this. You have to know what you're saying when you go into court, because if you don't, it's not going to work. But they'll threaten you with every type of thing coming at you left and right just to scare you from doing that. So I think there's something in that if it's done, that kind of they can't mess with you anymore.
Well, Jackie Nygaard, one of the commenters, has a point though.
Jackie was with us last week, you guys, but her Wi-Fi connection was bad today. She was supposed to be with us today, but she had a lot to say.
I thought that was her. Oh my goodness. Okay, I thought that was the wow. Okay.
No,
Lindsay?
no.
Well, and
It was
Tracy,
my show, another show. It was another
Yeah.
show.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But she has a lot to say. It's too bad that she's not here right now, but maybe Nick tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow she'll have it. But she said if you do that, then you can be labeled as a terrorist.
Because it's considered sovereign citizenship.
That's true,
Well,
Lindsay.
there's a certain way you have to do it that you're not labeled as that. You're actually going to be a nationalist of your state, I guess. It's not going to be necessarily sovereign. There's a way, they say there's a way of going about doing it that it's not sovereign. It's not, you don't want to go that route either, because if you screw up in any way, shape, or form, you will go to jail for treason and a whole bunch of other stuff. So you got to know, and there's people who I've followed that actually have done it and have done it right. But yeah, it's a very complicated process, and it's something you better know what you're doing. But if at the last resort, and you're losing your kid,
yeah, you're going to do whatever you can.
Yep, exactly. That's where I'm at right now.
right?
I just think you should be careful with that, just because it can be very negatively impactful.
I
Right.
believe that too. Kingsley's mommy said we should have a whole show on this topic. Kingsley, if you don't mind, please, baby, text me, um, and kind of remind me on that. Maybe we can have a whole show on that, and that would be amazing. And I am sure we're gonna have a whole bunch of crap that we can talk about that day, right? So if you don't mind, just text me at 626-631-8901. That is my work cell number. So go ahead and text me on that. But make sure that you put your full name so that way I know who you are. And maybe you can remind me after the show of the topic we should be discussing tomorrow. And maybe we can all research that topic, right? And maybe have more understanding so we can guide people out there and bring awareness and educate the public.
I
And
do have
yeah,
you
go
guys-
ahead.
I do have somebody who taught me, who is ex-military. He knows a lot about this stuff, and if you ever needed anybody to, like, he can explain it in such a way that I'm just still learning. You know what I mean? So if it's something that the people want to hear about, I mean, I'm sure he would help.
I think that'd be a great idea.
I researched a lot about sovereign citizenship and the correct way and the incorrect way to do some of those things. So I do have a good understanding of the subject, but yeah, there's a lot of information on it. Lots of information.
I think
Yep.
that's you guys. I love that. I mean, I love the fact that you guys are so involved with me on this because that's what I need. I need someone who can. I'm only one person, it's kind of hard, but I need somebody who's committed to actually educate the public and educate um, everyone in the United States of what the corruption is all about. And it has nothing to do with the well-being of the children. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Everything
None
to do
of
with that dollar.
Huh?
It's got everything to do with that dollar.
It's not.
And
I
the
wish it was $1.
the thing is too that the people out there, they don't know any different unless they hear it on the news, unless they hear it from or they experience it personally. They look at you like there's no way. What do you mean the government would do that? So it's like the more it comes out and and it seems like all these people always want is proof, like hard concrete, like, okay, so maybe continuing to do this type of stuff, we got to like get it out there.
Some people are full of they're full of caca, truthfully. But I want to show you guys a picture. Amanda just reminded me. I know it's some of you guys might not see what we see, but I was gonna bring this up on my prayer show because a lot of people watch my prayer show. Oh, also, if any of you guys Christian and you want to join me on my prayer show, you're welcome to. I don't know.
I'm there, Miss G.
Misty.
I'm always there.
If that's the case, tell Grace after the show. Let her know that you want to be on the show. And
Okay.
any of you guys, if you want, it's up to you guys. But Amanda wanted me to show you guys this. I know you cannot see it, but I'm gonna try. Can you see that? So this is her Ring camera. So you see the wings? It's an actual angel.
Oh my goodness.
I know you can't. Some of you guys who are spiritual and Christian might see it better. It's kind of hard to see.
Oh, wow.
That gave me goosebumps.
Wow. I had to take my glasses off to see it, but wow.
You see that?
Yep.
So
Gosh.
that right there is an angel. And you know how the Ring camera, if you guys have a Ring camera, I do. It senses motion, right? So she got the message that there was motion. Someone was there. And she saw the angel, but when she looked at it, she can see the whole structure of it. But the
Wow.
Ring camera took the snapshot of it by itself. Because usually when there's a motion, like right now, if I have a cat outside, for example, it will take a snapshot of it. If I have a person, it will take a snapshot of it. So that way I'm aware in case they're trying to do something, right? or
Oh yeah.
animal kill. I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. But anyways, she got the notification that it's motion outside, and it was her angel because she was trying to find the right answers for her because it was all you know how CPS, they screw your life, they screw
Oh
your
yeah.
they screw your life. This woman is educated, she's smart, so smart, and she's not a dummy. She's educated. She actually was, I can't say anything about her, but I don't want to because she is hiring us and I don't want to say that. But when all is said and done, she will be with us on the group. She wants to join us.
Awesome.
But she's Christian and she asked God for guidance. And she got it. She got it. Like God is like, go for it.
That is
You're
so neat.
and God does talk to us in messages and dreams and
Mhm.
I know some of you guys are not Christian. I'm sorry, but those are for the Christian ones out there.
Well, I believe in something. I just don't. I'm still on my path to figuring out what.
Well,
And that,
you and I, Lindsay, we haven't we haven't gone through the. But when I spoke to you the first time for 2 hours, Lindsay, you were getting goosebumps because I was
yeah.
sharing things with you that I didn't know about you.
Yep.
And I told you God speaks through us. Some people, not everybody. The devil speaks through people too. So you have to kind of be careful. But
Mhm.
there is God is with us. But people always say that he's not because there's so much chaos going on. But that's not the truth. That's far from the truth. But I think when we strengthen our faith and we walk by faith and not by sight, and that's when you activate the Holy Spirit. That's literally when it's activated because it cannot be in a confused mind or body. It cannot be in the darkness. It has to be in the light. And we are the light. But the thing is, the devil brings our past in front of us or, brings us people to say you're not going to win, like social workers. They're all demonic, all of them demons. They're all freaking demons.
That
They're
agreed.
demons. Demons. When I say demons, I meant demons. But that's let's not don't get me started because I have a lot to say about these MFs. I can't
Oh
say
yeah.
it, but I want to say it so badly. I want to say it. They're horrible people. Horrible people. And you know
We
what?
all know what you want to say.
But you guys know where I'm coming from with this. But
Oh yeah.
it's disgusting. I mean, even Star. I remember when I saw Star. She sent me a picture of her. I'm like, oh my God, she's so gorgeous. Like, what the hell? What's going on here? She doesn't look like, you can tell a drug addict. You can tell a psychotic person. You can actually tell. And whenever and I spoke, I'm like, she's not psychotic. She can be crazy sometimes. When my phone was bad, when I lost all my contacts, and then she texted me, and I said, "Who is this? Don't you know we talked before?" And I'm like, what? No, I lost all my contacts. Who is this? She lost her marbles that night. But
it's because
I
it's
set
what
her
they do.
straight.
It's what they do to you is that
Yeah.
they put people in your life and things that will just totally just pretend and act. And then
Yeah.
it's like, then they just completely take themselves out the picture and 360 change. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Here's another one.
It's
So,
crazy. Yep. But it's true. They get you so crazy. And
yeah.
then when you start, you're, remember when I told you guys about narcissism, right?
Oh,
When you're in an abusive relationship, what do?
yep.
They get you so wired up
Oh, yes.
and then blame you for your
Yes.
your reaction towards their disrespect. So
Yep.
they're
Going
literally gaslighting
Yep.
people, women, right? To poke them, and then they lose their mind, and then it's all their fault. And then
And
they tell them they need to seek therapy or, whatever they say to them, and it's so hurtful because
Mhm.
no matter what you do, you can't change this person. This person has to see on his own who he is and what he's doing. But unfortunately, I was told you they don't see it. So you're gonna have to let it go.
Well, they're not capable, right?
You're gonna have to let it
So they don't empathize. They can't genuinely understand the feelings that they have created in your self. So I was so insecure, and I really believed that, I deserved all of what happened to me. I did. I fully believed that. And until I got, into therapy, I really did think, well, it was my fault somehow. It was never my fault. But we are conditioned to believe that, because that makes it easier for them to continue to abuse.
Yeah.
And also, too,
Yep.
it's like a high low. It's like an addiction that they create in us by giving us that love bombing in the beginning and then pulling it away.
In the beginning, right.
And
In
then
the beginning.
pushing it a little crumb here and then pulling it away. And it's because most of us have been through that our whole life. And so it's what we, in our brain, we're like, why do I keep going back to this? And it's an addiction. It's literally dopamine that's being released every time they give you that little bit of a crumb.
But it's
And
not
so-
about you're going back to it. What it is that you attract them. A
That too.
lot of women don't understand that you can be an educated woman, you can be a strong woman, and you can attract a narcissistic person. But remember, there's types of narcissism that you have to educate yourself with.
I think that's from chosen people. I think that God
Yeah.
or
When you're
does put those
obedient,
people-
when you're obedient and you're a giver, you have sympathy towards pain. That's what they feed on, because you're gonna basically feed onto their ego and think that they're amazing people. But at the beginning, they show you that side of them, and then after that, um, you learn. You learn by actions of what's happening in your life, and especially when you are married to them, and you have children with them. That's how CPS 100% of the time always gives the children to the abuser. Even if a psychiatrist said he's a narcissist, right? Oh, it doesn't matter. He's father of the year. No, how in the fudge did you predict that, right? When the mother is the one that made the concern to begin with, and that person has a DUI, for example, or they have domestic violence, or they've been arrested for arson and theft, right?
well, mine was my
And
rapist.
they're still firefighters, believe it or not. It's so sad to me. How? How?
They gave custody to my rapist, my middle
My
son.
God, how? What did you say? I'm sorry.
I said they gave custody to my rapist for my middle son.
Yep. That's true. That's exactly what they do. But honestly, if you guys are in that situation and you guys got into CPS because of that, and you have an ex-mother-in-law from hell with two horns on her, who's an attorney as well, and you have, an ex-mother-in-law's sister who's a supervisor for the Department of Children and Social Services. Honest to God, you need an attorney who understands the strategy of a narcissist in court. I'm not joking. This shit is real. Judge Anthony actually speaks about that. He is the only judge I know of that actually studied psychology. And he speaks a lot about a sociopath, a narcissist in court. And a lot of judges don't care about this crap because they're so excited to wear a black robe that they end up sitting on the bench making the wrong decisions because they have no idea what they're doing. Giving a child to a narcissist or an abuser, how is that for the best interest of the child? There's no way in God's name it will be for the best interest of the child, right? Absolutely. When the child is traumatized until teenage year, guess what? They blame it on the mother.
Oh yeah.
All the time they blame it on the mother and what they did to Star and Misty and all the mothers out there. It's disgusting. And Robin made a comment right now. Said, Miss G, some social workers really try to help families. Not all caseworkers are bad. I tend to disagree with you, Robin. And I will always speak my mind, even if you're an attorney or a social worker or even a judge. It's not true. Because if that social worker is doing what's right for the child or the children, they will be fired. Let me tell you why. Because if that social worker doesn't bring money in for the entity who's contracted through the state, they can't be there. But what happens is social workers come in different strategy, demonic strategy. What they do, one will be nice, then they change that one,
Mhm.
then it sends you another one who's a bitch from hell. Then that
Yep.
one is going to contradict the other report that was nice against you, and I mean nice for you, and then he or she's going to write their own crap. Then you're going to change this one, you're going to get another one, and then the whole entire case, you're literally changing CPS workers, social workers, like you're changing your underwear daily. And you don't like, yeah, they're targeting me because they send me another social worker. No, baby, that was a strategy to begin with. Kind of like cops when they're interrogating, they're going to send you the good one first, right? So the good one you're going to trust. They want you to trust them, because when you
Yep.
trust someone, you speak, and when you speak, you're holding yourselves accountable. So the bad one comes in after you refuse to speak to the good one. Then that one will intimidate you and say, if you don't blah 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 blah, I'm gonna give you a lesser sentence, blah blah blah, if you admit to the crime. So same thing with social workers. But the only difference is that you have, in a criminal matter, you are innocent until proven guilty. But when you're in CPS courts, you are guilty and proven guilty by false accusations and false um, and manipulation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the difference. So, Robin, again, God bless you. I love the fact that you're involved in this and you're sharing with us, but I disagree with you 101%, baby. Okay?
I
And
will say, like, you have a point though, Miss G, because they do fire them when
Yep.
they are decent human beings. They're not going to last long there, and I
No.
know that because I've had 30 different people come here to talk to me and to accuse me of a whole laundry list of things. But I had one worker that showed up here and he was like, I just don't see it. I don't understand. And I was like, well, I can't make you understand your own practices. I don't know. Y'all got some issues going on, that's for sure. And he was like, yeah, it doesn't make sense. So then he went back and, said those things. And his supervisor flipped a lid, called me, accused me of being prostitute, all kinds of stuff.
Mhm.
Well, isn't that what they did to Star? The same thing, Miss Lindsay. They did the same thing to Star. They said
Yep.
she's a prostitute because she's beautiful, right? She's gorgeous to me. You guys are all
Yeah.
gorgeous to me. So they look at you and literally think because you're beautiful, you must be a prostitute. No, no, you little demonic pieces of crap. They're not prostitutes. They're beautiful moms. And the thing is, with social workers, especially if it's a woman, they get jealous. That's what they do. Because they look like men in women's body, right?
Yes, that's
And
so
they're
true.
actually ugly as F
Oh my.
on the outside and the inside.
Mhm.
So they get jealous. They get so jealous and then they retaliate against you. Did you
Yep.
guys hear about the whistleblower about CPS that won like millions of dollars? He was working there for like 30 something or 20 something years. Then he discovered, believe it or not, he just came to the realization that, hey, they're letting kids die in the system. Why are they allowing kids to die in the system? Oh, okay. Let me report this shit. As soon as he did, they went after his family.
Oh God.
So, guess what? He won so much money. But to me, it's like, did you not know this from the beginning? Did you not see that it took you 20 something years? Were you eating bonbons? I'm not understanding this. But God bless him, he came out, already spoke about it. But what did I tell you guys? They always what? Leave the abused children to be abused.
Yeah.
But they will never want them because they're damaged goods to who? The adoptive foster homes. They don't want damaged kids. So what do? They target the good parent, the good kids, right? And then
Yep.
medicate them to keep them silent from speaking.
To keep them complacent.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. And then the foster family is they judge the mother. Well, guess what? We have so many foster cases that done the same thing, and they also retaliated against them. Demons will never be loyal. Okay? So you can be a foster mom all you want, but they will F you whether you like it or not. They will. And if you have children of your own, they're going to come after them too.
I think they come after the
Especially
ones
if you have
targeted.
children. I'm sorry,
Like
what did you say, Star?
That it seems like they come after the ones that are called, like that have a calling and a purpose, that are anointed, and it's from birth.
Yep, I agree. You see that? I mean, you guys been through it. Everyone has been through it. And some worse than others. Some actually, their kids die in the system. And the problem with this is this: when you get a social worker saying to you, can you afford an attorney? Oh, can you afford an attorney? Like a social worker in LA County. She's a supervisor now since 2012. She got promoted after she removed.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. And I know her very well in the Vermont office in LA County. I want to say her name so badly, but I'll wait until she's on the news, when they arrest her one day. Um, she asked this mother who was dealing with the firefighter case, and can you afford an attorney? Now, that firefighter took everything from the mother: home, kids, dog, cars, everything, everything. Literally made her account zero. And she asked the mother, do you have family that can help you financially to get an attorney? But she made that mother feel like she's a good mom. She's on her side. But it was all fake. And the mother said, I don't have financial help right now. And at that time, um, the whole family was upset with the mom because they all told her not to marry this guy. But they're charmers. They're charmers. Like she said, she was charmed by him. Firefighter uniform, charming, big charm that is. And she literally didn't believe her family. She didn't believe her family. She married him anyways. It's like dealing with Dr. Hyde and Mr. Jekyll. He was so sweet and loving, and then all of a sudden, within the first month of marriage, he became a monster. And his aunt knows the law because she's a supervisor, right? His mother knows the law because she's an attorney. So, with all that being said, he left the mother pregnant. Then he went back to the district attorney that his mother wanted him for, anyways, because she used to work with the mother. And his mother's plan was get involved with her because she can be your ally, she can be your helper on the inside. Then that district attorney became a judge. Now, remember, when he was with her, she spoke very highly about him to the psychiatrist in that family law case. But your wife is still pregnant and you're seeing someone. It's so sad, but it's true. And they were not even divorced yet. So the psychiatrist said he's a narcissistic. He's narcissist. And he told the mother, she said in the office, hey, do you understand what a narcissist is? And the mother said, I don't know. What is that? She thought it was a virus. I swear. She told me she thought it was a virus. And she said, no, I don't. I don't know. He gave her a book from his office on how you can spot a narcissist. She read the book and she said she wept day and night because everything he did to her is like explained. It's like she got clarification because at the time she thought it was all her fault. And she was so loving and giving to him. Everything. She's done everything for this guy. And when he took her children at age 4 and 5.5, the department was siding with him. This mother has no record, never been in jail, doesn't even drink alcohol. And this mother, I mean, nothing was going on in her life that would ever show she's a bad mom. And unfortunately, because of the title and the connection that they get faster where they need to go. Faster. So the mother couldn't afford an attorney. So that social worker said, okay, well, that's great. That's great. Now we can move in. That's all they want. They want to know if you have financial support. So what does the narcissist do? Isolate you from your family, isolate you from your friends, and then line up. They already been 100 steps ahead of you. He already knew he's going to marry you, he's going to have kids with you, then leave you and move into the other person. And the woman, the mother, heard the name of the district attorney that he wanted to be with because his mom kept talking about her a lot. Okay? So it's all planned out. So you guys, before you get involved, get to know who you're getting involved with. And if you have 50 people saying don't marry this person, don't
Don't do
marry
it.
him, for the love of God.
I was thinking about making a list, Miss G.
What?
I was thinking about this. You know how like Megan's Law? Why
Yeah.
can't there be people can actually put evidence of people and you can check it before you start dating to see if they're actually listed on there as a narcissist? Because if you, it would be a great idea to avoid a lot of drama.
That's smart.
Why didn't you implement that? Implement it.
I'll make a website for you.
We can make a website. I was thinking about actually creating a website for us that everybody can go to.
Yes.
I'll do it.
Yes,
can
I
you
was
do that?
actually, it was for narcissists, and my other one that I already went viral on, Quora. I made one for targeted individuals so that people who are like us can, in our local area, start to gather and we can find out where we are.
I think that's
So if you guys can help me with that, that'd be great. I'll put it on your site. Yes, absolutely.
Oh my God, Amanda said she's a website creator. Okay, Amanda, you have my number. We need to talk. I love you.
You're hired, Amanda.
I know. I told her today, I said, I want you to be with me, but because of her situation, I don't want the exposure for her right now. I want her to kind of like get to where she needs to go, and she will be with us. She will be part of the group.
Awesome.
Oh my God, she said we could do flash dancers.
That would be fun.
What the heck is a flash dances?
It's where you go out with like a group of you and you go to like a public place where there's like no music or whatever, and then just play music, and then all of a sudden dancing. Yeah, it's like a flash mob.
A flash mob?
Like street.
Okay, I don't know what that means. As long as there's no nudity, we're good with that.
No nudity.
I'm sure some guys want to see you guys in nude, but hey, let them wonder about that. But no, on a serious note, seriously, I think that would be a great idea. I think it would be a great idea. And also, I want to start, and I know you have to pay money for that, and maybe I can fund it myself. It's a podcast, like where you can actually speak your mind, and they're not going to kill it like YouTube. You know how YouTube, you can say certain words, God forbid if we mention the president's name, or mention other things. Anyways, I want to be able to talk freely on that. Okay, so I want you guys involved with that with me, if you will, if you like. And I know some of you guys don't say bad words, but I do. I only do it when I'm passionate, talking about a subject.
And when you're mad.
Walk in life and say you're a son of a F. I don't do that unless you really are You've done
Unless
something really bad.
you've done something deserving of that.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
deserving of me saying that to you. And usually I don't do that unless you prove me right. And if you prove me right, don't ever expect to hear from me again. Ever. And that's just my attitude in life. You know how some people say keep your friends close and your enemies closer? You guys heard that, right?
Yep.
I
Oh,
don't do
yeah.
that. And maybe it's bad because I let the enemy know, hey, you did. I know the truth. We're done. But other people will tell me you shouldn't do that. You should keep them closer to you. No, thanks. No,
I
I
don't,
don't.
just because I don't want that energy in my life.
No, I don't either. There are some crazy ass people out there that will use your ass and actually
Oh, yeah.
use you to get where they need to go and then dump your ass and pretend they didn't do shit to you.
Yep.
Even
Yep.
though you have the truth, you can hear the truth
Yes.
on the recorder.
Yes.
And they say, oh, I didn't do that. I don't know
Yep.
what the F are you talking about?
It's your
Really?
fault. You're crazy.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what the F are you talking about? I'm like, dude, like, I heard you. Like, what the
Mhm.
hell are you
And
saying?
you know just
Yeah.
as well what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of crazy people out there. But
I got
when they're not in my life, they're literally not in my life. And I mean that. Very much mean that. So let's
Oh, yeah.
bring awareness, you guys. Let's be a team and
yes. Let's
let's
together.
move in. Let's move in and do this seriously. So if you guys want to be on the prayer show, like I said, let me know. Let Grace know. Um, you don't have to. I know Star's like not excited about it.
No, I
Lindsay's
am.
iffy about it, and Misty's kind of like, yeah, Miss G, I got you. So Misty, I know she's frozen right now, but I know she wants to be part of it.
No, I'm not frozen.
Oh, then what? Oh, here you go. Oh, you left your picture on there. That's why I was like, why is she frozen like that? You got me there. But if you guys want to, let me know. As the podcast, we're gonna have Amanda kind of guide us on that one. Can we start a group chat between us, you guys, on my cell phone? Like, all of us together, so
Yeah,
that
please
way we're
do.
all on the same page. Is that okay with you?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
ma'am.
I'm gonna ask Amanda too if she wants to be part of the group chat, and then we're gonna have to wrap it up. Tomorrow is gonna be another show at 1 o'clock, which is Fight CPS with Miss G and the gang. Uh, 1 p.m. I hope I can see you guys tomorrow. I hope Robin is going to be able to make it tomorrow as well, because she has a lot of information to share with us, and I love her passion as well. Amanda said 100% true. She's okay with it. Cool.
I know.
Awesome.
We're going to be a part of a very strong women
Yeah.
group. There you go. And
Yes.
I think it's going to be a beautiful ending. And God's will. Just guys, don't be tempted by bad people, and don't listen to idiotic liars, and keep your mind focused on where we need to go, and speak your mind and be true to yourself. And that message is for everyone. Okay? Because
Yeah.
when you are true to yourself, you're going to go where you need to go. When you're using people and deceiving them, you're going to be in the same spot for the rest of your life, because God knows your heart and God knows the intent in your heart. So remember that, okay? Love you guys all. I truly do. And I will see you guys tomorrow, God willing. And then the prayer shows tonight at 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I don't know, guys. It's crazy. I couldn't do 5 o'clock all the time because Davis needs me. He needs me. I mean, I work for him. So I need to attend to him. So I couldn't do that and do the show at the same time. But um, we went back to 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I know it's going to be hard on out of state people, but
So
if
wait,
you
the show.
can,
What time's Davis's show tonight?
7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time.
Okay,
And then my show, the prayer shows at 8 o'clock after him.
got it.
And then our show is 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time as well.
Okay.
But I think Davis wanted me to do the real talk every day, but I have to get his I have to make sure that's what he wanted. But I also have to bring it up to your attention as well. Let me know what you guys think if he says yes. If that's what he said, I have to make sure I didn't misunderstand him. But I
Okay.
would love for you guys to um, research on cases, recent cases, and also be able to talk about one topic a day. So that way we're all in on it. So that way people can just stick to that one topic for that one show. Well, I don't know what you guys think, but let me know what you think.
If you
I
want,
think that's a good idea.
compile like a whole list of research that I have done. I research all the time for fun. It's like my
Mhm.
it's my thing. So I'm happy to research whatever.
Star too, she loves that crap. Star
That's I
loves-
haven't watched TV in 2.5 years, hon. That's all I
I don't blame you. I don't
Oh.
blame you. And I would know Misty too, like Miss J. Let me tell you, Miss J. I know.
Uh,
So let's do this, guys. We are a powerful team, and when you put women together, they kick ass.
We get
oh
it done.
yeah.
We kick ass
we do.
because people don't understand how strong women are. We are strong because we have to
Very.
deal with people's bullshit. So exactly. So love you guys again. We're
Love
gonna
you. Bye.
talk to you guys later. Bye.